Like you go into the African drum language, which just white boys stole it and called it the Morse code. They took that same pulsation and rhythm, and now they call it the telephone. They took the same pulsation and rhythm, and now they call it a computer, which is nothing but an African drum. But if you don't attach people to the computer, you don't see.
Okay. All right. I gotta be real with you guys. This is a bit of an embarrassing moment for me because I actually used to listen to this guy. I'd say maybe when I was around 18 to 22, 23-ish. I not only used to listen to people like him, the Tariq Nasheeds, Hidden Colors, and Dr. Umar, Semia Cash App Johnson, but this guy right here was actually a part of my Rolodex. I believe that I was enlightening myself with deep, hidden wisdoms, truths about the African people, or more specifically, the origin of everything being African. I am not at a place where I have thankfully outgrown this level of smooth-brainedry, utter stupidity, but I'm also in a place where it's not just embarrassing that I could have fallen for this, but it's damn near disappointing. Like, how could any of us, let alone a kid who at some level could think for himself, fall into this sort of nonsense? I mean, for those of y'all who may have missed what this individual was saying, he stated that Morse code came from drums, or more specifically, the African drum that was being played as some sort of symbolic language that then turned into Morse code that was stolen by, and I quote, the white boy, and then was turned into, I guess, what we now have as the computer. Just this coming out of my own mouth sounds crazy. That's why I'm digesting this entire thing right now. At some point in my life, I believed that an African drum was the basis for the computer. See, this is the level of mental gymnastics that you have to play when you fall into this racial idolatry. I believe it's a man by the name of Jason Whitlock who, at least I heard, first use that phrase. There's this obsession with race, and more specifically when it comes to black folk and so-called people of color within the United States. And I think this is a thing that's going on throughout the West, right? Unfortunately, this woke Marxist ideology has taken over, and now everything is just fixated on this superficial identity, such as quote unquote blackness. And so when you're that obsessed and it is the entirety of your identity and you use it as a means to gain significance, etc., it only makes sense through that lens that you have a desire to make everything about your own racial group. Like, it's mind blowing. I mean, okay, let's just go to, let's say, the Chinese. I don't think once in my entire life I have heard a Chinese individual even have to brag about the things that they actually created, right? Like, let's say gunpowder or something, right? I've never in my entire life, and I've been around many Asian folks. I lived in the Bay Area for quite a while. The second high school that I went to my senior year was in Cupertino, which is, if you know, you know. If you don't, you can look it up. It's about 90-something% Asian. So, you know, and all of that, I never once heard this argument of, well, we created, gunpowder, we created the abacus, or whatever else the hell it was. And these are people, at least generally speaking, who are doing a lot when it comes to technological advances. But yet you never hear it from them. White folks, maybe here or there, but you barely hear from them. We invented this and we invented that. You only hear it when it's now having to argue this sort of nonsense. It is only black folk, whether it's African or black Americans, where I have heard this perpetually. My entire life, I have heard this. We were the first man. We were the first. We are the motherland. We are the only. We are the creator. This and this and this. And there are entire worlds, universes that have been created from this idea. There are people who have semi-functional brains that believe Wakanda is real, that there is a technologically advanced civilization in the midst of Africa right now with the king named T'Challa. Right now, in reality. These are the same people that spew this sort of nonsense. Now, again, have black people invented things? Absolutely. But guess what? It does not matter unless those things are currently benefiting you. It's kind of like bragging about being the high school, or quarterback back in high school, and you're now a 45-year-old man. Gut all the way out here. Just you're as wide as you are tall at this point in your life. And yet you're still talking about your days as the starting quarterback at your local high school and how you guys almost won the state championship if it hadn't been for, old Charlie Dickerson on the other team who cheated, right? Nobody cares. Nobody cares what you did. They only care what you're doing currently. That's why the argument always comes back to, well, then what are you doing now? What are you building now? What are you creating now? Why is it that there's so much struggle when you go into majoritively black nations? Why is there so much poverty? And try to answer that without blaming the white man and see how far most people get. Now, I get into the subject a host of times, multitude of times, as much as necessary, but I understand that it comes down to ideology, like belief system. It comes down to political systems as far as what they're, adopting. Most of them are going to become socialist or communist or, these totalitarian dictatorships as opposed to, democratic republics. They're going to adopt communism as a economic structure as opposed to capitalism. These are the true issues systemically. And then when you get to an individual level, it's the belief system. It's the belief that you are inferior. I cannot do the white man. When you make the white man so big in your head, right? White supremacy, white rulership, white upper class, you create a self-fulfilling prophecy where you are the lower class individual. We have a glass ceiling. You got to work 3 times as hard just to get half as much. You are affirming your very own failure, or at best, your own struggle. That's the problem. It's an ideology. It's a mentality thing. And therefore, the actions and the behaviors and the characteristics that are formed and informed by that. Talking about how drums led to a computer and therefore the white man stole the idea of the computer is not just nonsense. It's the sort of nonsense that keeps you stuck. And that's why this is one of those subject matters that I'm stuck on, because it is a pervasive problem in our society and it is a relatively easy or a simple fix. It's not complex. It's not complicated. It's simple, but it is hard, right? There's easy and hard, and then there's complicated and simple. The equation is simple. It's just getting to the equation or executing the equation is what becomes hard, because again, we have these beliefs we've held on to. We have an idea and an identity that we call our own, that we perceive as us. And so if you believe yourself to be a victim, then you will continue to live life as exactly that. It is impossible to live both as a victim and as a victor, as a victim and as a survivor or thriver or what else you might want to label that as. It is impossible. This mentality is that of a victim. He tells you, and guys like this tell you that they're educating you. You're going to know your true history. This is going to empower you. But what it's really doing is, look at the white man taking something from us again. We made that. Okay, then make it again. Simple. Okay, you created plumbing systems. Like I heard that, Kemet, who's the Egyptians, and the Egyptians are actually black. I mean, according to everybody but the Egyptians, right? But, okay, you built this sophisticated plumbing system, etc., then just do it again. Do it for your own. There shouldn't be the level of destitution, if that's even a word. There shouldn't be the level of unproductivity that has taken place on the continent if this was so. And so instead, you can just say, you know what, maybe we did or didn't do these things, probably didn't. But what we can do from here on out is to build, is to create, right? We can stop trying to latch on to the glory days and instead build in the now. Learn from those who are doing it around us, partner with those who are necessary to partner with, create obviously a level of sovereignty and self-sufficiency. But when it's all said and done, you have to do something different as an individual and then as a group of people. Simple. That's why for me, I believe in the Western way of life because it's worked, it's produced, it's shown itself to be one of the, if not the most effective sets of ideas and ideologies. Simple. But they'll just accuse me of being in love with the white man. So, there's that too, I guess. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there. Or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace. Aquarius. Where? I've been up for hours, I've been up for days, staring at the ceiling, I've been counting strays, I've been in my feelings, I've been out of mind, I've been getting visions of the other kind, I've been up for weeks, I'm in the count of blessings over count of sheep, I can never be the type to limit when it comes to me, I used to be the pleaser for the people, I ain't